Welcome to the Three Man Weave College Basketball Podcast. Coming at you from a Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Got to get down on Friday. We're so excited to be here for another episode, number 432, number 2 of the new year. Fellas, how are you? My name's Kai, by the way, for the new listeners out there. There's millions of you. Jim, hi. It's our podcast. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm Jim. That was an eccentric intro, Kai. I'm not sure what kind of rambunctious mood you're in this morning, but I like it. We recapped or realized that there are 149 D1 versus D1 games tomorrow on Saturday. We really love that unbalanced schedule, but you know what? That's fine. We're going to talk about them on our Best Bet show, so people should return for that on Saturday morning on this very YouTube channel. But Matt, this is more of a little bit of a look back, talking about what we've seen, what stood out to us, and yeah, we're excited about it, like Kai said.
I just realized I wasn't recording, but now I am. So for live folks, that
I,
was a fun
I have
moment.
I have
For those
not
in the
gotten a
podcast, we're
notification
gonna
that you're recording, no, Matthew. So why don't you try again?
okay. And now we are
Recording in
recording.
progress.
You guys hear that?
Fantastic.
Only us, the
Yes.
listeners hear that. Or that's just internal.
I don't know.
That's
Tell you
internal.
what we're gonna do though. We're gonna for the live folks get a real treat. Ready? Here we go. And welcome to the Three Man Weave College Basketball Podcast. How are you guys doing out there? My name's Kai. I got Jim and Matt with me. We got another great episode for you today. We're roaring into conference play, baby. It's in full swing. Can't wait to talk hoops. How's that for a second intro for the podcast people? That's a first intro. Sometimes we have some recording snafus behind the scenes. Okay, no more second intro. Let's go to Instagram and Twitter. That's where you should follow us if you want some, I don't know, picture and tweet content. 3MW_CBB. Please do subscribe to the podcast, though, on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, the YouTube channel. We are live currently right now, 7 a.m. Central on a Friday. If you want to see our faces while we talk, this is where we are. Our YouTube channel, Three Man Weave. And also on Saturdays, you can see us in our Best Bet show, 10 a.m. Central on Saturdays, talking through the slate. Jim mentioned either before or after we actually hit the record button, 149 line games tomorrow. That's crazy. We're going to try to talk about most of them, whatever you guys want to hear about. So do join us then. Finally, join Basket Under Review. BasketUnderReview.com is the place where you can find the most fantastic, I'm going to call it, college basketball content on the web. So many talented writers, podcasters, and of course us are involved with the site. You can find us mainly on the Discord. Basket Under Review gets you access to the website and the Discord, where we talk about, well, gambling, talk about college basketball, talk about transfer coaching, all that good stuff, everything you could want, and more. BasketUnderReview.com is where you can go to find that. Fellas, did I miss anything? Jim, are you ready to round it up?
You missed everything, Kai. How dare you? I'm glad I'm finally getting to speak to the podcast listeners. Only YouTube has heard my voice thus far. But yeah, Kai, I think you mostly covered it. Got Basket Under Review. The weekend watch list is the thing that I participate in along with the Discord. So check out that great article. I think we talk about like 30 games. Will Warren, Jordan Majeski, Tuck Clary, a bunch of other guys. Matthew Winnick writes some for that. I think Lucas Harkins, like all kinds of people diving in there. So any game you're thinking about, it should be out early Saturday morning. Make sure to check that out to go with all of the other wonderful content at Burr, aka Basket Under Review.
Matthew, you can say hello if you want real quick.
Brr, it's cold in here. There must be some good content in the app. Yep, good to see you fellas. Yeah, I mean, Majeski's daily write-ups and obviously expanded into the watch with all everyone's contributions. Awesome, like legitimately awesome stuff. If you're a fan of this podcast, I'm confused as to why you haven't subscribed. If you haven't, so just do it, Kai.
Do it.
Back to you.
Okay, now we can round it up, Jim. Roots roundup time.
Let's do it. Let's round it up, talking news and notes from the past week that was in the college hoops world. But before we do a quick shout out, Matthew, to CBB Analytics, our loyal sponsor and a great, great resource both during the season and in the off season. They've been fantastic to us.
That's right, Jim. CBAnalytics.com, the holy grail of college hoop stats. Just want to underscore how much I've been using it as an in-game box score tool. I know they've kind of blown that out this year, and people are always complaining about, not having a good live, game tracker. So some people like to use Stat Broadcast or Sidearm Sports, but CB Analytics, they have a great tool as well for that. Using it during games, using it before and after games, obviously breaking down the shot charts continue to be the best, I think, feature, kind of the bread and butter feature, looking at how some of these teams have evolved, new coordinators this year, new coaches, new assistants, how certain players have impacted the shot diets, as we like to say, about halfway, or I guess over halfway through the year. And also how that changes in conference play. I think a lot of these low major, mid majors, as they play more teams of their caliber, you kind of see that evolve. Then you can see it evolve in, basically in real time using the shot diets as you can filter by game, by month, by quad, all that good stuff. Thank you to Nick and team. Please sign up today with our promo code WEAVE, WEAVE, for $40 off your subscription, cbbanalytics.com.
Well said, Matthew. No super key headlines. Wanted to talk a little bit of a coaching corner because last Friday, we record every Friday morning, as a reminder to folks, Micah Shrewsbury out at Cal, Notre Dame on the West Coast Bay Area trip in the ACC, went after the refs after a rather controversial and one three-pointer call while they were fouling up three. The officials more or less ignored two reach-in fouls around half court and then called a breathing foul on a made three, which eventually cost Notre Dame the game.
Terrible call.
Yeah, really, really bad. Just
Call.
like interpretation of the rules and not understanding what the other team is trying. Like they're trying to foul, so they're not going to hack intentionally. And then the one they actually called was basically zero contact. So Shrewsbury tried to chase the refs down the tunnel to end the game, was held back by like multiple players and assistants. The ACC only reprimanded him rather than a suspension. Kai, I thought that kind of felt fair simply because I think he was correct. And obviously he was going a little far with it, but man, they got punished and screwed over by the ending. So I'm giving him a little grace.
Absolutely, man. I would have been pissed too. You're talking about a huge moment for Notre Dame's entire season, not being dramatic. They're in play for the tournament, winning that game on the road, especially how good Cal's been this year. It's a borderline Q1, definitely Q2 win, and huge for the resume, especially for a guy who has not made the tournament yet as the coach of Notre Dame. So that's going through your head. Plus, hey, you're just a coach who just lost on a controversial call. Emotions run high. What a horrible call. I just can't stand it, Matthew. You're a ref guy, Matt. I know you are. I can't stand it when refs take it upon themselves to be the center of attention in a game that comes down to the wire. It's terrible. It was a miscarriage of justice. It was bad. Bad, bad, bad.
I shouldn't. Who was the trying to find the name real quick. I want to hold him accountable. No, it was a terrible call. I mean, I don't want to say Shrewsbury reaction was justified, but I would have reacted in a similar fashion, I think, given you're right. Like, I'm not sure what Notre Dame's at-large hopes are, but they're certainly not very good after that. I think the Fort Wayne, I feel like there was some Purdue-Fort Wayne loss residue of frustration that boiled over in that moment, perhaps. Yeah, tough spot there for you. Just kind of a tough month or months for the Irish on the gridiron, on the hardwood.
Whatever. The gridiron.
I know.
No
I feel so
sympathy there.
bad for him. Don't you feel so bad for him, Kai?
No.
Poor
No, I
Domers.
don't.
Oh, poor Domers.
Interesting. Right now, Notre Dame is 65th in WAB, 66th in WAB. Wins
That's
above
higher than I
Butler
thought.
per the NCAA's measure. On the other end of that spectrum, Cal picking up that win, they're 37th. They're
Yeah.
like actually in the NCAA tournament picture. Really flips. I mean, that probably flips to like they're both right around 50th if that result swings. So rather important for both sides, and justifiably Shrewsbury a little upset, but not suspended. No key injuries that I saw this week, guys. I hope I didn't miss anything. Jackson Shellstad's been out for a while for Oregon, and they're pathetic, but not even really worth discussing at this point.
No.
So shame on the Ducks. There was this little controversial deal with Villanova this week where Tafara Gapare was announced as leaving the program, and then he had a long post on social media that he's been dealing with something with mental health, and he's been in constant contact with the coaching staff and the administration. And he's like, I didn't know I was leaving the program until it was announced. Like, so it's kind of a he said situation here. Matt, I'm not sure if you followed this at all, but it seems really odd, especially given the background of he was at Maryland with Willard, ended up following him after not being picked up in the portal early. Like it was a late addition for him to end up following Willard. And then this little saga, I'm just very confused what's going on there. I don't know the real truth, but man, not great if they just like ushered him out because of a mental health thing.
Yeah, Willard's kind of a prick, and just the vibe I get from him. He just, I think, well, I'm sure Maryland fans would agree with that, but like he just certainly, I could see him rubbing people the wrong
Abrasive. He
way.
seems
He's
abrasive.
yeah, at every press conference, he's like, it's one of those guys where as a reporter you feel like you're bristling asking a question. Like he thinks every question is really stupid. I just think I'm not saying it's part of it, but um, and maybe the fact that he's got a freshman playing ahead of him, Matt Hodge. I guess that's probably the spot he thought he'd have in the lineup. And I don't know. Hey, Nova's good. I don't think Nova fans care that much.
I like coaching pricks. Yeah.
I do
Should
too.
be a real
I do
a-hole
too.
to these capital J journos. Ask
I
stupid
also wish
questions.
coaches would just call out players more as opposed to it's always like I got to coach that better. We missed
Can't
30
do it
free
anymore,
throws. I got to
though.
coach that better. I know because they'll leave, but
They'll
I
leave.
wish one coach be like, my players just sucked tonight. I coached really well. We had a great game plan. My players just stunk. It's on them.
Hey, they blew a
It's
game at
on
home
them.
to Creighton after this. Is that
They did. I
karma?
know. I kind of jinxed them. That's the Weave Pod jinx from last week.
Yep, that's right. That's pretty much it for the news, though, guys. It was a quiet week in terms of news, a loud week in terms of games, Kai, which means we have a much longer segment in We've Saw That, where we go through a lot of the notable results, performances, etc. So I'll hand it over to you.
Yes, very excited for we saw that, Jim. I watched so many things and I wrote them down and I just forget about them. But this section brings me back to earth. What I didn't forget about, Jim, right away, the Missouri Tigers. Missouri. Mizzou is 2-0 in the SEC after losing by 40 to Illinois. They beat Florida at home. They beat Kentucky at Kentucky. Jim, we're excited about our Tigers all of a sudden. They're giving us hope. Maybe cruelly, but they're giving us hope. With Pierce and Stone back in the lineup, they look like a competent basketball team. And Big Blue Nation is in trouble. They don't like it. I talked to a guy who went to Kentucky the other day, talking about Kentucky fans wanting Pope's head already in year two.
Yeah, they made the Sweet 16 last year. It was the first time they made the second weekend since 2019. Calipari had that long stretch of not making it. This is a very reactive fan base. Like the last game basically tells you exactly how they feel about their coach. So they want him dead, and they were up 8 late, 66 to 58, and it seemed like that game was going to be, dead and buried, and somehow Mizzou came all the way back. Kai, a little statistical nugget for you.
Ooh,
Do you know what Mizzou's, this is tiny sample, of course, but with Stone and Pierce on the floor, do you know what Mizzou's defensive rebounding percentile is nationally?
better?
It is the 100th percentile per
Oh,
CBB analytics. With
wow.
those two on the court, they're actually getting boards. And granted, Pierce has only played 2 games, but they're against Florida and Kentucky, two teams with a lot of size. So if they're actually going to rebound, perhaps this is real. Not like win the SEC real,
No.
Matt, but enough to let optimism creep in. On the Kentucky side, Matthias, I'm a little worried about this team. I'm not worried about Mark Pope. This just feels like a got pushed to take a bunch of expensive players that don't fit at all together. And if they actually build a cohesive roster with some shooting and playmaking next year instead of 9 bigs, then I think they'll be a lot better off.
Yeah, I also think there's a lesson for I think I talked about this last podcast, but like I'm trying to create this like versatility fungibility player metric where you just need to get guys who are a little more jack of all tradesy that can kind of play multiple positions. I think the reliance, like we said, on having Low as like your point guard and then having Quaintance as your five. I think if you're going to get a bunch of guys and throw stuff at the wall and see that sticks, I think you need to do more of the Byington thing where you have guys who can play multiple spots. I think that's a lesson for Pope and some other teams in their roster construct.
Or
Kai.
just be who you are. Like be a ball
Yeah, and that
movement,
too.
spacing,
Yeah.
shooting team.
I
Not
think more
all
role
right. Let's
players.
try size and athletes. That's not
Their
you.
pace has not been nearly as electric offensively. The ball just doesn't, they don't get it up
It
as like
sticks.
feverishly fast. The ball just, yeah, there's a lot of stickiness. It's like they're trying to do matchup hunting sometimes or run some like, I don't know, overthinking some of their actions.
Through 2 games, the least efficient offense in the SEC.
Hindsight's 2020, but like, I'm not blaming it all on Aberdeen. But red flag. Aberdeen turns down $1 million from Florida, team he just won the championship with, to get 2 from Kentucky because he wants to be in a bigger role, and that means he wants to be kind of like offensive centric, right? That's part of the
You would,
guy you
yeah,
brought in for Pope, right? It's guys that want to be in that role, and that's why it's not working very well.
yeah, would have been in a nice role at Florida.
Would have
They need a guard.
maybe
They need
another
a guard.
championship. It would have started for sure. Been a huge
Yeah,
part of that team.
yeah.
Anyways, we digress. UConn survives in Providence. We had some Discord fans getting pretty excited about Kimmy knocking off UConn, and nope, UConn takes it. They go to 5-0 in the conference. Providence, another near miss. Um, they're fine, Jim, Providence, but it's not looking like another tournament because they have one good win. They won at St. John's, which was huge, but did nothing in the non-con. Now this one, Kim English, this is his third season. I can see Providence fans saying, "All right, it's time. No
Oh,
tournament."
there's I think there's somebody in Discord whose name is Fire Kimmy. So it's I think Providence has more or less had it. The offense has looked really good of late, and they've played two of the most entertaining games of the season. The game against Butler, and then this was just haymaker after haymaker back and forth against UConn. Now they did have a 97% chance to win with like 3 minutes left, and they choked it away. And now they sit 95th in the NCAA's wins above bubble metric. Like they're just a long ways away from being actual bubble level. They're almost 2 wins off the pace of being a bubble caliber team. So they've got to really overperform, and this would have been a massive win to start it or to continue it after the St. John's win. But yeah, I think they're going to play more entertaining games, but not actually flirt with bubble territory.
I want to point out, Matt, that they're 0-3 in overtime now. So 0-3 in overtime. They've lost all three Big East games by 5 points or less. It's margins, man. The thin margins. Alas.
So if they hang on to that game and beat UConn, like they're probably at least bubblicious, or have they taken too much?
I think
They don't
they
have any
still
bad
need another
losses.
big win. I mean, they've
Close
been
And the Big
nine and
East offers
six.
like
Yeah.
basically two of them because the Big East is somehow worse than I thought it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I
It's
think we
really
have
tough.
more discussions on Big East coming up here. Vanderbilt. Yeah, I surrendered a couple weeks ago, but I surrender especially. They beat Alabama. They're still undefeated. They're up to 5 in KenPom. They're awesome. Um, I didn't watch this game, fellas. Did you have any thoughts on this one?
Tyler Tanner's unbelievable.
He
This
is
isn't just like
all
a
American
collection of
style.
cool parts right now. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Tanner is a true All-American caliber player. He's top 10 Ken Palm Player of the Year. Back-to-back games, he's combined for 48 points and 21 assists.
I
That's
mean,
his two. That's his start to SEC play. Like he is ridiculous. And Collins being out and Miles getting banged up, missing a game or two, like really let him become the guy. And Matt, to go with all the complementary shooting, size, skill, malleability they have, if you've got a mega stud on the ball who's getting massive draft hype, like the ceiling raises for this team.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's probably their best defender, most impactful defender. Fine to talk about that, like just how much the workload he has to carry because he's sort of chasing. I mean, how many good guards are there in the SEC, especially at the pace that league plays at? Yeah, he's been awesome. To go from really good to great, you're going to need to have some guys take leaps, and he's kind of been that sort of skeleton key that's lifted their ceiling, no question. And every other portal part has basically been a plus. Like there's been no flops in their portal gets at all.
LeBaron Philon also needs to hydrate. He had to leave this game because of cramps, and Oates was not
yeah.
pleased in the postgame.
So there you go, Matt. There was a coach that kind of called out a player. Oates was like, he
Good.
played 19
We had
minutes.
more
I don't know how
cramping
he has
issues
full
last
body
year.
cramps.
Have you guys noticed the cramps have been less this year? Maybe it's still
Eh,
bad, but
Seems like it. I don't know.
Because-
Eat a
Hydra-
banana cramps. I can't remember his part of it.
Hey, we've been in
Kids,
college,
right
guys.
here.
We're out there.
out of this.
You're throwing back some adult sodas on
I watched the
days.
UNLV Wyoming game. I know that's a altitude, but man, UNLV looked like they'd never left sea level in their life. I mean, they're out there like they just ran a marathon, sucking on those like tubes. It's like you guys knew you were going to Wyoming, right? Like,
Sucking
didn't
on
have any
those
sort.
tubes. Speaking of undefeated, Nebraska stays undefeated. They beat Sparty, and they won at Ohio State, which was, in my opinion, equally impressive just in the fashion they did it. Ohio State looked like they kind of got the game in control, and Nebraska said, nope, they won it. They still have the nation's longest winning streak, 19 games dating back to last season. They are very much in the tournament right now, looking great. I'm very impressed. We talked about them last podcast, I think, but Hoiberg rises from the dead, Undertaker gift style, and he's done it again at Nebraska.
Really good team when Rink Mast is on the floor. I mean,
He rocks.
the last two times that he's had Mast, like it's just kind of like a mind meld between a coach. You usually think about that coach and point guard, but he in the half court he is like kind of nominally their point guard with the way he distributes everything. And man, they've played better defense than I thought they'd be capable of, and they've been awesome down to the clutch times of games. Now they're probably overperforming a little bit. They're 30th in luck per Ken Palm by being undefeated, but while still being 20th or 21st there, but they're in line for like a 1 or 2 seed right now based on results.
Nothing to add, Matthew. That's fine. No, but I was trying to look up the leaders in 3-point attempts because Price Sanford has to be up there. He shot 119 threes through 15 games this season. In that Ohio State game, he's just launching. I mean, he just does not care. Launch. He shot him pretty well this year, but crazy. He's got the greenest slide in the world. How about Houston?
I got you.
Yep.
Ryan Conwell for Louisville has taken 150.
Wow.
He's the Power 5 leader. Bryson Blaine for Charleston Southern, 152. Lundblade for Belmont, 151.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's kind of far off then. Houston fellas, topping JT Toppin. Houston, actually Texas Tech played really well in this game for the second consecutive year at Houston, but the Cougars figured it out. They played their starters like almost the entire game. Houston, Sharp played 39 minutes. Everyone else played just like around 35. So Texas Tech was a team I didn't think had a bench, but maybe it's Houston after all. Regardless, still a great team. They're the team that's kind of getting forgotten about, Matthew, in the Big 12, in my opinion. All the focus is Arizona, Iowa State. Houston's like waving in the corner, like, "Hey, we've won this league 2 years in a row."
Yeah, I'm doing a this or that for my thought. Houston
okay,
will be an interesting one. I do think this Houston team
stepping on my this or that corner. I was in the outline before you with this or that.
Oh yeah, you were.
If only Matt would write down his thoughts in the outline, then we would.
I write on my notepad.
Look at
it's
the
more
outline
fun to surprise you guys, but you're right. I guess now I double dipped in Jim's pad, so that's not as fun.
Okay.
Kingston Flemings is amazing. Just an absolute, probably a top 5 freshman right now. Is that a fair statement?
He's getting a lot of All-American love. Yes.
Is Kingston Flemings better than Michael Brown Jr.?
Ooh. Well, one plays, one doesn't. I'm kidding.
Availability, man. Availability.
Kidding.
I saw the one thing worth noting there. JoJo Tugler, if he's going to play 34 minutes, that defense is going to be unbelievable. If he's not playing 21 minutes because of foul trouble,
Michael Brown, I like him. He's missed 5-6 games in a row, and this goes for Peterson too. Both of them named to the top 25 player of the year watch list. No, I'm sorry. No. Can't do it.
There's plenty of guys who've played more games that should be on there ahead of them.
And I'm not even sure he's Louisville's best player. Maybe he is, but
you can make a strong argument Conwell's been better. Yes.
Anyways, neither here nor there. But speaking of Louisville, Matthew, Duke, your Dukies, I thought they were toast. They were down in the first half. Louisville looked really good. Of course, they hit like 1 million threes. And then your freaking Blue Devils, they came back. Cameron Boozer's amazing. Talk about best freshman. He's number 1 with a bullet. Duke, control the ACC.
They are second to last in momentum per Haslametrics, even after that second half comeback. I think that was a bigger Louisville thing. I think the takeaway was, I think Duke's good. Duke has some problems defensively. That's been exposed. Cam Boozer not being a good defender, a couple other liabilities there. Dame Sarr needs to play like 35 minutes for this team at this point. That's kind of where I'm at. But I mean, Louisville, it's the second year in a row. They just haven't responded against top end physical teams. Like, I know they got Frew. They look a little bigger up front this season, but people kind of like shrug that aside. I wrote that up in the preview for Burr. Like getting punked by Duke in the second half, I was just like, man, that was the spot where I thought, if you're really different this year, I know you're without Brown, you got to close that game. And they just got manhandled, I thought.
2 points, 4 boards in 14 minutes for Frew. He did not have a fun time against that Blue Devil front line. Also, Matt, I got a DM from our boy Russ, Duke fan, Dame Sarr.
Yeah,
Dame. Dame.
Yeah,
Dame. Thank you.
It's fun. It's more fun to say Dame. But
the announcer
it is
Dame on the broadcast. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
Jim has a thought on this one, but SLU, they won for the first time ever at VCU. Very impressive. They are the best team in that league. They're so fun. I hate that Rothstein called out the Indiana State comparison. Yeah, obviously Rothstein. It's the same fucking coach. Anyways.
Yeah, same coach, same center. Like,
same,
all right.
Yeah. Oh, whoa, I didn't think about that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Jim's got a thought about them later. UCF had they had a good start to the week. They beat Kansas at home. Impressive job. Then they lost to Oklahoma State. SMU beat North Carolina. That's like the first time they've won a Q1 game ever, it seems like, under Andy Enfield, which has been like a year and a half. But a huge win. Of course, they also lost on the road to follow that up to Clemson. But still, 2 pretty big wins for 2 teams that are still pretty new to the power conference leagues.
Yeah, they're up there in WAB per the NCAA. Like, they're both clear tournament teams right now. They're actually next to each other. One's 20th, one's 21st in wins above
Wow.
bubble. So they're
Hi.
right in the mix. But hold your thoughts on them, guys, because they're going to be part of my this or that. So we're going to have to do a
Good.
little one versus the other there.
Good. Matt, did you watch any of these Auburn games? Because I saw
Yes,
both of them.
Kai. No, I'm
Haven't.
sorry. Let me say, this is a lesson to those of you out there watching. If you want the tide to turn in your favor, whether you're a fan or a bettor, I turned the A&M. I was on A&M that game. I turned it off when they went
Thanks.
down. I think 15. Literally turned it off. Like they were like just A&M plays pretty renegade. Just kind of spread you out, jacket, get bored, shoot it, and it was like this is not going well. I turned it off, and then I saw your tweet, Kai, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Insane. And this is what A&M games are, but I just couldn't believe I missed like the craziest run ever. I don't know how much that was Auburn, Kai, or how much was just A&M going
It
gangbusters,
was,
but
I guess both, but for context out there. So, first of all, Auburn lost in overtime to Georgia, which resulted from a missed free throw, perfectly executed, purposely missed free throw by Keyshawn Hall. Overton grabbed the rebound, hit a fadeaway three to send it to overtime. Georgia won in overtime. Auburn covered. Yeah, Auburn backers, including me. Then the next game, Auburn, who I had Auburn, Matt, so kindly go away.
I'm sorry.
Um, Texas A&M put on 11-0 run in 28 seconds. It was like Auburn forgot how to inbound the ball, Jim. Forgot how to handle the ball, and Texas A&M hit every single three they attempted. Jakari Lane and Pop Isaacs had them in hell. It was ridiculous. And then, of course, at the end of the game, Keyshawn Murphy somehow got the catch pretty cleanly. I guess they didn't care about Murphy catching it up there. Hits a three bomb, zero point zero 0.01 seconds too late. That came after, though, an intentional miss by Pop Isaacs at the free throw line when A&M was up 2. And, Jim, I thought right away, Bucky, over-engineering this, man. Make the free throw, go up 3. Of course, if the refs would have called this free throw correctly and not stopped the game, it would have been over. So there's a little bit of here and there.
Yeah, I always kind of like if it's 1 second or less or like 1.3 or less, I'm okay with that miss because it's like so if the other team doesn't have a timeout, it's so hard to catch the rebound, advance the ball, and get a decent shot. Like it's going to be like the one arm heave. But in this instance, yeah, they got a chance to have the play stopped, inbound it up, and Murphy buries this like near half quarter turnaround. It's so tough. I initially counted, like the crowd erupted, Auburn fully celebrated, and then they ruled it out. And I think Bucky said something about like every
Mhm.
second counts, or like he
Yeah.
was being a little coy and cheeky about it. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine a game flipping more than Auburn up 61-45 with 13 minutes left, and with 6 minutes left, it was 78-67 Texas A&M. So they went from down 16 to up 11 in like 7 minutes. It was completely crazy for an SEC game, but hey, that's what Bucky games are.
I don't want to pick on the low hanging fruit here, Jim, but Stephen Pearl needs to take part of the blame here for Auburn. Figure it out. Break the press, call timeout, and get your guys like aligned. It was embarrassing for that 11-0 run. You have to do something as a coach there, and I don't think Pearl did a great job.
Yeah, so there's that 11-0 run, which it obviously isn't great, gave up the lead. But then after that, Texas A&M scored on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 straight
I
possessions.
mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
I'm
That's,
holding my Auburn
you're doing
ticket like this is
something
insane.
wrong at that point. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Auburn fans, I don't know how you're alive after those two
yeah,
games of just like cardiac arrest.
and they're 0-2 in those games, which is really unfortunate for their turning hopes.
Yep.
Hey Matthew, you're a Mountain West guy. San Diego State beat Boise in 3 overtimes. Thoughts?
Not happy as a Aztec backer. I'm sorry. Yeah, Aztec
Yeah,
backer in
they
that
didn't
game,
cover by a half point. Yeah,
up by like 20.
amazing.
Um, and then Boise, I don't know if you saw, just follows up with an absolute dud. When they went back home, Leon Rice not very happy. Called out the fans as well. A little
Ooh,
frustration, boiling over in Boise. Yeah, subtle. I love Leon Rice, but uh, I believe this Aztec team is who we thought they were. It's gonna slowly come into clarity, like a kaleidoscope of sorts, Kai. But I like this Aztec team. Believe, stay the
think it
hope
course.
was
you're right, man.
I think it was Isaac Trotter in the Discord that said their 2 point percentage defense would be like top 30 if you take out the Michigan game. He's like that one outlier
Yeah,
like is
Oh
really
yeah,
skewing their defense. They give up 66% shooting inside the arc. So their defense might actually be closer to typical San Diego State than we think. That performance is really holding them back.
Fellas, who's the second best team in the Big East? Because Seton Hall beat Creighton, Creighton beat Villanova, St. John's can't win.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
and Villanova had beaten Seton Hall
Yeah,
already. Like
it's a circle of
it's just a
suck.
snake eating its tail. Yeah, very much a circle of suck, Kai.
It's still St. John's, but
I think
I'm
so.
not.
Are
I
we
almost said
stubborn though,
Villanova.
Matthew? Are we
It's still St.
stubborn?
John's. St. John's has the same problem as Auburn, where I think like neither team has good individual defenders. Like, and so I think both coaches who are defensive-minded coaches, right? Pearl was the, I guess, de facto defensive coordinator under his dad, and then Patino obviously known for his defense. I think they're both like, well, portal got a bunch of new guys in here. You don't know what you're getting with defense a lot of the time, and I think they're kind of stuck with they have to sort of adjust their schemes accordingly to make the best of what they have. So
Yeah,
I said St. John's reluctantly there.
I think they're still second best team too. But man, if you force them to execute half court offense, it looks ugly down the stretch. Like they had some possession against Providence, and Providence not a great defensive team, where it looked really bad, and they've kind of put Butler away because they pressed and Butler just handed them the ball like 5 times in a row. But if they have to make plays in the half court, that's when it gets really
Yeah.
concerning for them. So Villanova could be a bad matchup for the Johnnies.
Like I don't know who needs the ball like late game for St. John's. Is it like Hopkins is like a
I don't know.
like on the
No,
wing or in the mid?
I
I
don't
don't know
want
what
the ball.
the I don't know. So
Um, Rounding out the headliners, Iowa State quietly number 2 in KenPom. They don't get as much press as Michigan, neither does Arizona for that matter. And they both get more than Houston. They won at Baylor. TJ Otzelberger, Jim, 9-0 against the spread against Scott Drew. Wow, how about that? Hey, whose leg does Joshua Jefferson have to hump, to borrow a term from Brian Griffin, to get Player of the Year love? He's number 2 in KenPom Player of the Year. He's averaging like 18, 8, and 5 for arguably the best team in the country. They're right there. And he's not being talked about. Some people don't even have him on first team All American. It's crazy.
I think he's crept up to like third in the odds finally. But for a while, it was like he was still 40-1 when he was a clear number 2 in KenPom Player of the Year. And he's getting closer to Cam Boozer, man. He's creeping up, especially if Duke ends up dropping a few of these tough ACC road games. I think he's like got a real chance to win it. I know he's not going to score as many points as Boozer, but he creates a bunch because he's a fantastic passer. I watched somebody put together a reel of his passing, and like he makes some outrageous, like no look, live dribble, bounce pass, thread the needle type stuff that like it's not just basic reads. He is a legit awesome passer. I'm going to continue to enjoy him more than apparently the average fan.
he's awesome. I was on him first. I get all the credit. I love him. He's great.
Matt
Who'd you
was
rather
on.
have this year, Kai Josh Everson or Cam Boozer?
I'll take Cam Boozer.
Hmm.
Well,
Jim?
I mean,
Jim's smartly thinking about it as
Cam
he
Boozer's
should.
awesome.
I think I'd agree with Boozer. There's a chance that Josh Jefferson has better teammates right now, which is a little surprising. But
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The defensive, I just think some of the defensive stuff we've started to see exposed with Boozer
true.
makes this a conversation.
Duke has to like scheme around Boozer's defense.
I don't
whereas
like that. I know
Jefferson is
that's
a
like he's
stud
so good. Why are
defender.
you have to like you have lineup? I don't like that you have lineup limitations because of the best player in the country. Apparently is defensive limitation. I don't like that. That's development.
That's why Flag is better. That puts that debate.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just took for granted how awesome Flag was, how awesome Knipple was. Like that was only Flag mostly, but
Okay, let's random stuff. SIU, Carbondale, Quellron House, Matthew, your boy,
That your boy.
beat Belmont at the buzzer. Belmont then beat Northern Iowa without Nick McLean. Figure that one out. Congrats, Matt. Good job. Way to get your dogs through.
thank you.
The Salukis. Jackson Pavletsky for Ohio also hit a crazy running 3 to beat Eastern Michigan by 1. I continue to never know what Ohio is every single year. They're barely beating the directional schools. They beat Team A by 100, whatever. I don't know what Ohio is, but good job by Pavletsky. And then Charlotte's Arden Conyers, a buzzer-beating win against Wichita to beat them by 4 in overtime. Jim, an and 1-3 for Conyers?
Yeah, it was kind of a shaky foul. It was like the stick your leg out on a three,
I
but it
hate
didn't
that.
matter if they called it or not. I guess they could have called an offensive foul and had it go to another overtime, which
Yeah.
would have been pretty hilarious. But yeah, buried that one. We're going to talk a little more about Wichita in a second,
Yeah.
Kai.
Woof. Stat lines real quick before we do. Silas Demery, first player in 15 years with 23 points, 15 assists, and 5 steals for UConn. Very impressive. Hey, that guy rocks. Okay, I get a 1 win there, Matt. 1 win.
You
You
were all
did.
over that. You
You
ranked
did.
him very
I said
highly.
Demery was
Yeah.
good.
You
What a
did.
great call. Hilarious. Javante Campbell, 47 points in overtime in a win against UMass. He becomes everything for their offense at times. He's their game breaker. He's very, very good. Bowling Green is good. Check him out, the Falcons. And then Josh Jefferson, we're going to mention him again. 10, 10, and 10 against West Virginia. Triple double. That counts. That counts. We already talked about how he should be taken more seriously the National Player of the Year odds. He rocks. Check him out, Joshua Jefferson.
Yeah, would you rather have 20, 10, and 5 or 10, 10, and 10? Well, trick question. It's the same amount of points. Unless the assists are for three, then I'd rather have 10 assists than 20 points. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Not all
I
assists are
like
created
Jim.
equal. Totally agree.
Nice. That's big brain Jim right there.
That's on my
Yeah.
list of like new stats we need to create. Like
Points created.
like assist weighted average assists.
Ooh,
I
weighted
believe
average
points
assists. That's
created is in
probably a
the
thing.
CVV
Points created.
analytics.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
so
I think part of it as well. Another reason why you should all sign up. But just like I
Christian
think when
Anderson getting
people,
the country.
yeah, people love just like looking at assists. Like you should just chop that into the assist part of points created for actual points.
Okay, Matt. You work on that. And
I
then
will
two
on it right
bad
now.
losses. Rhodey lost at home to LaSalle. Archie Miller probably should be gone from Rhode Island. And then Jim mentioned Wichita. They lost home to Rice. And we mentioned the Charlotte loss as well. Unfortunately, Paul Mills might be gone at Wichita because Wichita, this is a once proud program. This is the dominant Missouri Valley 1 seed program that's coming to the American and really has not looked good since Greg Marshall left. It's sad. Wichita I thought was a really good team this year, but these last 2 games have been bad.
He's 43 and 41 in his tenure and well under 500 in league play. I'm doing the quick math in my head.
Can't.
14 and 25 in the American.
That's 14 and 25.
In the American is bad this year. Like if they continue to flounder, I don't know how you keep him around. And Archie is like dead man walking at Rhode Island.
Archie is 18 and 39 in the A10. Matt, your thoughts?
Cannot be a
Not
year
good.
five there. Cannot be a year
Not
five.
good.
It's funny. I feel like they've had
They've gotten better every year.
like last year and this year. I thought they actually had like enticing roster, like be a top 5 A10 team, and it just hasn't. I don't. Yeah, I think that the best is we used to like poke fun at David Cox not being a good coach because his teams were just kind of like very erratic, but they were effectively just way better than this era. Like it's the program's taking a step back. Their attendance is terrible. I've saw people talk about that. They really just like lost interest. It's kind of a bummer. The Ryan Center losing
Yeah, when
juice.
you have home losses to Loyola and LaSalle to start league play, it's hard to be super enthused about it. And yeah, making fun of David Cox, his worst Ken Pom ranking was 142nd in 4 years. Archie's currently at his best at 135th. Like if his peak is David Cox's nadir, that's a problem.
That's
What's David Cox up to? I think he's on a staff right now. I got to maybe they bring him back.
probably.
He is, yeah.
You don't see him at the family reunion?
Doesn't show up. He got in a big tiff
Doesn't
years
show up.
ago, so he listened to the pod. Didn't
You're a
like what he had to
Providence
say.
fan. You're a Providence fan. That's why. Okay, that does it for We've Saw That. Great section this week. 3-man thoughts time. I just have one. I'm going to kick to Jim first for his thought to start us off right.
Okay, I will holster my this or that. Matt and I can go back to back with that. But the
Yeah,
first
I
thought
agree
is,
with that.
as you mentioned on SLU, it's just the super fun mid majors. Utah State and St. Louis, a lot of parallels to be drawn here. But one team is 13 and 1, 26th in Ken Pom. One team is 14 and 1, 32nd in Ken Pom. They're both the clear favorite to win their conference races, as Kai will note in his thought. But they're very similar in how they play. There's a lot of skill on the floor on both sides. There's a lot of depth. They're both top 60 in bench minutes. They move the ball. They're both top 65 in assist rate. They're both top 12 in 2-point percentage offense. They get outstanding shots inside the arc due to their spacing, their skill, the depth of weaponry. It's funny, both of their best wins are against VCU away from home. SLU's is on the road. Utah State's was on a neutral. They're very, very similar in WAB, right around 30th per the NCAA. Like a lot of similarities here. And the last one is probably that enjoy your coaches, both schools, because
Yeah.
they may or may not be moving on to better destinations. Jared Calhoun widely rumored at Cincinnati because he is a Cincinnati grad, and Schertz can probably go wherever he wants. So I hope both of these schools actually get a really cool run out of this season and this coach, this tenure, because they're fun to watch, and I hope they get into the tournament comfortably and get a win.
I mean, Utah State's used to losing their coaches. Holy cow. Every single
Yeah.
year, every other year, they're gone, and the program still rocks. So I guess the Aggies are used to it by now. No big deal.
Yeah, Utah State should hire Todd Phillips and keep it going from Utah Valley. But anyway, no, Jim, I was my thought that was never fully baked was like I just feel like there's a lot of bummer mid majors out there. There's very few that like really have like seem like it's just going, it's just having like a fun year, and these two are clearly the top two, just in terms of watchability, but just the vibes on both teams. I mean, like the SLU chemistry looks amazing. Like
They're so
every
fun
dude,
to watch.
yeah,
And you, Matt, you mentioned like malleability and flexibility with your lineups in the portal. Like they bring in Deion Brown, Quentin Jones, Ishan Sharma, even Dunlap is like a big versatile wing. Otieno is a really mobile big man to go with McCautry, who is like the epitome of versatility.
yep.
That team plays so many different lineups. They go nine deep. Every guy can score. Almost all of them can shoot. It's a great team to watch. They play up tempo. They couldn't shoot against VCU, but they still managed to get the win on the road. And that's kind of a fun indicator, Kai, where they differentiate a little from that Indiana State team because this team can guard. They've got
Yep.
like length and athleticism on the guard and wing spots that team didn't have.
It's crazy they don't ever play of Avila and Otieno together. Like I like that Schertz is like, we're gonna manage your limits, Robbie. You're playing a little over half the game, maybe a little more if we need you. Paul's gonna spell you. He's gonna get really productive minutes, and then they just kind of mix and match with the four with those versatility guys and in McCautry and Thames, who's awesome. Thames, right? I like want to say
Thames
Thames,
was
like the River
Thames
Thames,
was
but yeah,
incredible against VCU.
yep,
So
best
good.
player I think for Slow that game. No, he's awesome.
His dad, Mizzou, Kellen Thames. Good player. Great
Too
player.
bad.
Kelly Thames.
Too bad he's not. But yeah, I just wanted to tip the cap to both those teams. I encourage people to watch them if you get a chance to. And yeah, both the clear favorites, despite there's some other undefeated teams at the top of their standings, but just projected, I think they're both projected to win by at least two games per Ken Palm. And that is a stranglehold type of lead on the conference with getting the road VCU win for SLU. They don't play another top 100 team till January 27th now.
Yeah.
Again, it sucks that George Washington and Dayton both did not get like one more big win. And also that George Washington lost to Delaware. Like both those teams should have been legitimate,
I mean,
like in this conversation for Bubblicious, and so now it just makes it gives less of a margin of error for SLU. It's just tough.
Yep.
Matt, is your only thought this or that?
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off Jim. It's mid-majory. It's kind of short because I think the takeaway was I went through the mid-majors, Kai. There's not many like two horse races. It feels like there's a kind of a clear top dog in a lot of these lower to mid leagues, which is kind of a bummer, frankly. But again, hopefully they all win their tournaments and we see the best in the actual tournament. So maybe that's the silver lining there.
Alrighty. Well, I'll check in with mine real quick. We had a
Yeah.
request to do, and I'll make sure we have enough time to go through yours, as I know you always have an out. So, conference futures check-in. We had a request to give our thoughts on the current market. So, just very quick, high level for the bigger leagues, and I pulled some DraftKings. I also have FanDuel up here in non-Illinois, so we can get some A10 odds. But on the ACC, Duke clearly the favorite. Shop around is what I'm going to suggest. First of all, these lines vary wildly. DK at DraftKings, Duke was minus 180. They're minus 270 at FanDuel. So big differences here. Clemson 9-1, Jim. They're 3-0. That's not a bad idea at FanDuel. Miami has the easiest schedule. We said this at the beginning of the year. 11-1 right now and undefeated in the conference at DraftKings. 18-1 at FanDuel. That's one I might consider if you're really looking for an outlier or a long shot. But I do think it's going to be Duke's league.
Yeah, Duke has the benefit of not going to Clemson, which is always a like house of horrors for them. Came up short there last year, and that ended up being really complicated down the stretch with some of the tiebreaker scenarios when I was figuring out a Duke to win the title bet. But yeah, Miami doesn't even play Duke. Miami doesn't
Yeah.
go to the West Coast. Like that one, if you're buying what they're doing defensively and Malik Renault being such a stud inside, it's probably worth an okay gamble. I mean, maybe you even get a split, like if they're somehow able to go 18-2 and tie Duke or something because their schedule isn't that bad. Hey, that's not so bad. I guess then check your books payout scenarios. Is it one seed or is it dead heat?
Yeah, dead heat. Matt American, we have like a three-way, well, kind of a two-way favorite. Memphis plus 190 ish at DraftKings. I think they're mostly 2-1. Tulsa's right behind them, 275, 3-1. Then you have USF. Temple 12-1 at 3-0. I don't think it's going to continue. But Tulane 100-1, 2-0 right now in
I
conference
agree.
play.
They look
Not
a lot
crazy.
better.
Not crazy.
I don't know why they just couldn't guard anybody. Well, I mean, again, we should pay respect
Great Glenn.
to yeah,
Great,
who
great.
was actually supposed to be a key part of their team defensively. But they've gotten much better, and I think that's sort of like a zone scheme where you get better with reps. We saw them in the MT. How bad were they against UC San Diego and somebody else? I mean, they couldn't guard anything. It was just like playing like a middle school zone. But now I think they're actually playing better defense, and they can certainly score. I mean, they got some dudes who can fill it up. And I love Ron Hunter. Ron Hunter's just like the guy who you don't bet against. I like that guy. I actually love my Owls a lot in this league too.
The Temple Owls or the FAU Owls?
FAU's in the American. Yeah, right. Yeah, the American.
the
I keep
American,
forgetting. Yes, 2-1.
Yeah, they're
Wait,
around.
or do you like Rice? Who are your owls? Choose your owls here, Matt.
Ooh, I don't like Rice this year. Not out on Rice this year.
I'm still not sure which owls Matt's talking about.
FAU. Yeah,
FAU.
FAU.
He only has one owl.
FAU, who just lost to Tulane. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then and then beat UAB at UAB. So a nice little bounce back, but we're okay.
In the Big 12, you have Iowa State plus 150, Arizona plus 175, and then it's kind of like the BYU Houston tier, which is like 5-1, 6-1, and then you get kind of deeper. Like Texas Tech was 50-1 at DraftKings. I do not think it's worth a bet because of how many good teams are in this league. Jim, for me, Houston's the best value at 6-1, but Iowa State or Arizona are pretty tough squads.
Yeah, there had been so much made of Michigan, like just rolling teams by 40, by 40, by 40. Arizona's won, I believe, 10 straight games by 20 plus,
By
19 plus.
19 plus, I think, yeah.
Yeah, they beat Utah by 19. They beat Auburn by 29. Yeah, like they have just been demolishing teams too. And the reason I like Houston is because I think the style translates defensively. Like they're going to be in a lot of games. They've started to figure out like best lineup, how to balance the offensive distribution. But man, Arizona, the style translate because size shows up everywhere. Like you are enormous no matter where you're playing. You're awesome on the glass no matter where you're playing. I keep thinking if somebody slows them down and gets them to play in the half court, they'll have a chance. But like San Diego State slowed them to 63 possessions. They lost by 23. And I don't know who in the Big 12 is going to successfully slow them, except maybe Houston. The one thing with Arizona is their schedule is, as Big 12 schedules go, easy until like early to mid-February. They don't play Houston, Baylor, Kansas, Iowa State, Texas Tech until February 9th. They've got one at BYU game until then, but TCU, Arizona State, UCF, Cincinnati, West Virginia, Arizona State, Oklahoma State are like 7 of their next 8. So if you want to invest in Arizona, it's probably now before they just continue winning. Otherwise, yeah, I'm with you. Houston's best value.
You guys have any interest in not taking UConn? Big East, they're minus 500. I would not suggest betting that. Creighton's 4-1 and is 30-1. That's the only other one I think you could consider. I don't think St. John's 9-1 is worth it right now.
I don't think UConn's like playing that well right now. I mean, just like in the last 2 weeks snapshot. Obviously, they're the best team. I would probably pick them. But yeah, value wise, I agree. I mean, maybe Creighton's got a gear that we haven't seen. Right? They had some injuries early. Freeman gets a little healthier. The Swartz development. It's been kind of nice for them. Gives them a little extra shot making, scoring pop. I don't hate that 30-1 flyer. Some pocket change.
Yeah, their home court always seems to get UConn too. Like,
yeah.
They can pick that one off. But I think UConn's going to go 18-2. So I'd side there.
Mountain West, Jim mentioned Utah State's the favorite, minus 125-ish. You can find San Diego State 3-1-ish in the market. I still think it's a fine bet, San Diego State. I would not look at anybody else, frankly. It's a 2-horse race for me. I don't think.
Yeah,
Mexico,
especially
maybe.
some of the results. All right, who Matt?
New Mexico, I think, is worth consideration.
They're about 5-1, 7-1 in places. Yeah, I don't know.
Eric Olin, man, they're going to get better. They had some. They've just been so banged up, both backcourt and front court. And obviously, great home court that matters, as most of these teams, I guess, in this league have, though.
If you like San Diego State, maybe worth betting before Saturday because Utah State
Yeah.
goes to Boise, and that could be one where they drop it,
There you
and then the
go.
value shifts. So,
Yep.
SEC Vanderbilt odds-on favorite -115 right now, -110 some places.
God.
Bama, Florida, Arkansas, hovering around 5-1, 6-1, 7-1. Then you got your kind of longer odds. Hey, 2-0 Mizzou, 60-1. Who says no? Who
hey,
says
now
no?
there you go.
Well, they're 19-1 now at FanDuel. Again, please shop around. The differences are huge in these markets. I just don't think Vanderbilt's going to win it, but I don't know. I'm still kind of holding out with Florida at 6-1, but um, nothing strong there. In these leagues with so many different teams that can win, I have a little bit harder time betting them.
Yeah, I'd still love Florida's schedule, but they're only meeting with Vanderbilt's at Vandy, which stinks. So that's going to make it hard on them. And dropping the Mizzou game was certainly a hamstring early. And it just seems like their guards are never going to make shots. If their guards are playing as confidently as any of Vandy's guards, I'd feel good about it. But it seems like Lee and Boogie Flan both have the yips and are ruined.
Yeah,
And Tanner's ascension has made me sort of buy that Vandy can be the best team.
yeah, they were.
Only one team, Kai, in the top 10 SEC.
It's Vanderbilt.
If they're like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of tier two teams. There's just not, they don't have, I think we thought they'd probably have a few tier one teams if I'm using that.
Yeah, I mean they have three.
But
They have three in 16 through 11, right? I mean
that's
they're
what I'm
on the
saying. It's still a really strong league, but I think we thought maybe Florida would be a little better. Bama's
for
been a little
sure.
banged up. They've been good. I mean, brutal schedule. Even Tennessee, like, yeah, really good, but maybe not like top 10
Yeah.
elite. I don't know.
Betting value, I'd go Arkansas or Florida here.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I agree with Arkansas
minus
too.
money on Vandy is a good move.
Finally, WCC. Anything worth taking? Gonzaga's like -800. St. Mary's about 4-1. If you really want something else, Santa Clara just lost to Gonzaga, but they're like 14, 15-1. It's nothing for me really in WCC.
If St. Mary's was longer, I'd think about it because they always give Gonzaga trouble with the pace. They always slow them down, and Gonzaga has not been sharp lately.
Yeah.
The Santa Clara win was solid, but Seattle OT at home
San
and their
Diego
rotations,
close. Yeah,
yeah, their rotations are not settled. Like they still don't know who to play most minutes at point guard. They're still figuring out the wing rotation stuff. They started Davis Fogel against Loyola Marymount, and then he played 0 minutes the next game. Like they're kind of with what they played in the non-con, I thought they'd be a little more settled, and it seems like they're still experimenting. So I could see St. Mary's giving them a problem, especially like Morauskas is up to he was in the top 10 for Ken Palm Player of the Year for a minute, and I think he's back out of it.
yeah.
But they him and Lewis are like two really good top end pieces.
All right, that does it for my thought. Almost got Matt, but I'm gonna toss to you guys for your this and that's. If you'd like to kick it off.
Matt, come back and do yours because I want you to do it before you have to leave. But yeah, mine is like the 25 to 50-ish edition, where
Love it.
instead of,
Love
we
it.
talked a lot of top and elite teams. So tried to find teams that are similar in how they've performed at similar levels and let you take your pick there. So Kai, the first one is Auburn or UCLA, two
Oh
teams that
boy.
have definitely underperformed expectations to this point.
I was very high on UCLA preseason. I am not super high on them right now. I think it's Auburn right now for me out of the two. Just eye test. Yeah,
I'm gonna go UCLA, but I'm not excited about it. And the fact that they've got another East Coast, Pennsylvania, Ohio road trip coming up in 5 days to go to Penn State and Ohio State does not excite me. And I know they've had a lot of troubles with those under Cronin. That's not great. Auburn's been close, just no cigar in some of the games, so perhaps that is the wiser choice. But I will narrowly take UCLA.
their schedule, man. At Iowa, at Wisconsin. Okay, back home in Maryland. At Penn State, at Ohio State. Like, my gosh,
And back home, Purdue.
give me
Like
a
it's
break.
yeah, it is a lot of zigzagging across the country. It's what everybody knew was going to happen with these ridiculous geographically bananas conferences.
Yeah.
Next, Creighton or Wisconsin? I really wanted Matt here to answer this one. Creighton potentially the second best team in the Big East. Who knows? Owen Freeman is all but out of the rotation. He's playing single digit minutes and not scoring these days.
Mhm.
And then you could also have Wisconsin, who's been kind of garbage unless they're at home. So what do you think, Kai?
I think it's Creighton. I think it's Creighton.
I
Wisconsin's left me
sadly,
just like, I don't like what they're doing this year.
yeah, I sadly agree. I think Wisconsin could lose by 40 to an angry Michigan who got tested. Michigan back home. Wisconsin's been awful on the road or away from home. I think that's going to be ugly on Saturday. And yeah, Creighton's just held up a little bit better and has seemingly figured out a new version of their team with the rotations and what they've got compared to what they were playing early on in the year. They're not Iowa North anymore or Iowa West or whatever. They're a different kind of team. All right, next, Kai, Georgia or Miami, Florida, two teams that have
Oh boy.
overperformed expectations, built kind of differently, but both kind of strong through the paint, decent guards who, and Donaldson's been fantastic for Miami. What do you think here?
I admittedly haven't watched a ton of Miami, but I've watched a good amount of Georgia. I'm going to say Georgia, even though I still think they're a little overrated. I've been impressed with them. I really like their guards. Smurf, Villander has been awesome. Wilkinson's been great. Miami's still 0 wins against the top 60 KenPom team. They haven't really played many. They've played two of them. They lost both. Um, Georgia for me right now.
Yeah, I think I go Georgia as long as Santos Cerril keeps his head on and doesn't elbow people in the face and get kicked out of the game.
It's important.
They're really good when he's in the middle of the court and dominating at the rim. Mizzou or TCU, Kai? I know your bias is again. I wish we had non-Mizzou grad Matt to answer this.
What is
But
TCU? I have no
I don't
idea.
know. Mizzou got smacked around by Kansas. TCU should have won at Kansas. And Bill
Yeah.
Self even acknowledged Kansas was lucky to win that game.
Oh,
TCU had the home loss in New Orleans, but has been pretty solid. They played with Michigan. Like the
yep.
team's good, seemingly.
Yeah, and they both lost to Notre Dame. There's a parallel there. Gosh, I'm gonna say Mizzou, Jim. Um, and usually I'm anti-bias the Tigers, but I can't figure out what TCU is. They're more Jekyll and Hyde than Mizzou.
Yeah, I will go Mizzou as well because I think the Pierce Stone version actually has blend of spacing, physicality, versatility, and TCU, who has definitely figured out an identity without their big men. They're basically playing without a true center. It's like Punch and the JUCO transfer Edmonds. I like what that version is. I think they're going to be a freaking thorn in team sides in Big 12 play, but I will go with Mizzou as well, narrowly. Last here, Baylor or Villanova, two teams that I think are maybe around where they're expected. Villanova probably ahead of the pace here. Baylor's got Najee now into the system. He's
Ooh,
not really doing that much. I'll go to you first, Kai, and then I'll make Matt rapid fire all of them since he's back.
Villanova is who I feel more comfortable with. I'm still not really sold on Baylor.
Okay. Yeah, Najee's been a piece of the rotation, but not overly effective so far. All right, Matt, rapid fire for these. You tell me. First of all, oh God, I lost my place. Where
Auburn,
do we go?
UCLA.
Auburn or UCLA,
I
Matt?
got it. I got it. This was the hardest one for me.
Okay.
I said UCLA.
Okay.
Okay. I know who you're saying, Creighton, Wisconsin.
Creighton.
Yep, figured.
So I convinced I know who Wisconsin is at this point. Um,
Georgia or Miami, Matthew?
man, I lean Miami. I think Miami's the one team that's like outside the top 30 in KenPom that I think has the biggest move like upside potential that we just haven't quite seen yet. I'll go
Okay.
Miami by a nose.
And yeah, I mean, they played Baylor decently. They played Florida decently. Ended up losing by double digits in both, but I think there's some potential there. Mizzou or TCU, Matt? Want to hear your answer?
I like Mizzou with Pearson Stoney.
There we go. Good
Yeah.
answer. Attaboy.
I like TCU though too. I like both these teams, but I'm still a Mizzou believer.
And Baylor or Villanova, Matthew?
Yeah, I'm going Nova. I do think I'm being too cute, maybe, but I'm not a Baylor guy this year. Just not. They're not deep enough. I
Yeah, I mean,
don't.
Villanova's going to get more wins because they're in the Big East instead of the
Yeah.
Big 12. So, all right, Matt, let's go
I
to
like
your
Nova.
this or that.
All right. Mid-major edition. I only have five actually. How about the Valley? Murray or Illinois State
Ooh,
or Belmont, who's actually the highest ranked KenPom team, Kai.
I watched Belmont and I thought to myself, this team freaking rocks. Um,
Yeah, fun team to watch.
uh, but
You seen Murray play?
I've seen Murray play
Murray's good.
early on. This is a good question. I'm going Belmont.
Belmont full strength. If
Full
they can get
strength.
McLean back
McLean's
and
awesome.
yeah, you've got the
And
shooting. They are legit big inside with Sharnowski and Orm. Like
yeah,
that matters. Brigham Rogers too. I'm tempted by Murray State though. I just don't. I don't like that all three of these teams play fairly fast. Like in terms of getting an upset in March.
Northern Iowa is that who
Like
should be the white knight to emerge?
yeah,
No,
fully
they're
healthy
done.
Northern Iowa would be the annoying team.
Yeah.
They didn't have Tristan Smith last game.
Yeah, that's big.
But Murray is so deep, talented. I said on stats, they lead the country in 3-point differential. They've made like I think it's 77 more threes than their
Yep.
opponent.
Miller talks about that a lot. That's like a key pillar of their identity. So yeah.
Yeah, and they're like their front court, they can play 6'9", 6'10", 6'10", or 7 foot. Like that's pretty tough to deal with.
And they can punish you inside with King, which is kind of a nice
So
game
I
to
will
note
go
as well.
Murray narrowly.
I went Murray as well, but I think Illinois State's been. I think they're gonna run. They're gonna. I both these teams are gonna run roughshod through the valley, and we'll see where Belmont ends up as well. Big West, UC Irvine, Kai 5-0.
No.
Nobody else is 4-0.
Oh, sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. I was thinking UC San Diego lost yesterday. I was like,
Nope. Cal State Fullerton's good.
yeah, I guess
Welcome
so.
to the year 2026.
Okay,
Or
sorry. Go
Field.
ahead.
You say Irvine or Field.
The best team is Irvine to me. Still, yeah.
I like to
What the
win the
betting odds
league.
here,
I'd
Kai?
have
I
to
was
go
gonna look this up.
Field. Yeah,
It's
I
gotta be close
think
to
I don't know if Irvine is actually
A lot
the
of
betting
places.
favored.
favorite. I don't think they were before last night. I think there's a lot of Hawaii love still, and Hawaii
Yeah,
is technically projected to win it. But Irvine does the shitty Thursday home game Saturday at Hawaii
at
this
Hawaii.
weekend,
I know they tried
and
to
Hawaii's
eliminate
had a
that, but I
whole week
think
off.
yeah,
Like
that's
that,
tough.
that is such a major schedule edge for Hawaii. So I got to go
Yep.
Field, Matthew, sadly, despite having Irvine in futures betting and thinking they're the best team.
God, they did Irvine dirty with that. Like maybe you'd give the kind of the class of the league a little bit of a reprieve.
Yeah.
Um, the Coastal, the artist formerly known as the Colonial, UNC Wilmington, Kai, I feel like you're always a Wilmington guy, or Hofstra, who's kind of been like the most talked about team in this league. Because I don't really see another candidate. Maybe Charleston if they get healthy. Towson, Toast,
William Mary.
William and Mary
Towson
2-2,
cooked.
but looked like
Charleston.
they were in
Yeah,
there
I
too.
guess. Yeah, not anymore. Um, I think I have Wilmington rated slightly higher than Hofstra, but I've been very impressed by the Pride, Matthew. So that's a non-answer. I'll stick to Wilmington.
Wilmington for me, Matthew. It sucks that CJ Luster's not going to play at all this year. That got announced that he's officially going to take the redshirt year, and that's a big time shooter that they could have. But my guy Wessler has been a monster in the
Yeah,
paint, and I
he's
like the length and athleticism they have around him.
I actually think Wilmington's the third. I think I'd rather have Charleston than Wilmington. I go Hofstra. Um, not
Wow.
a not a Wilmington believer. They've been
You
playing with
never are.
fire all year. I never am. I know. And then last one here: Montana or Montana State. Both are 3-0 in the Big Sky. I
Emphatically
think look like
Montana
the
for
two best
me.
teams right now. What?
Emphatically Montana for me. I
Okay.
thought that coming into the year, and I got to stick to my guns. I haven't seen a ton that would change my mind. I think the Montana State like end of bench P5 transfers have been a little better than I thought, but their best players are still the returners, and the best player in this league is by far Money Williams, by
Yeah,
far.
no, I agree.
So I will ride with the best coach, DeCure, and the best player.
Um, I'll lean Montana State on this one.
Were you thinking about Northern Colorado, Kai? Were you like, why didn't I mention them in this conversation? They're not. They got swept on the Montana trip
Or
last
Porta
week.
Potty
But
State. What about Porta
yeah,
Potty State, Matt?
I love Porta Potty State.
Montana State. I mean, hanging with Utah State on the road, it's pretty good. And Boise, and Stanford, and Colorado. That's
I actually think I might bet Porta Potty State. I just the Montana versus Montana State was a more fun this or that premise, but I think Porty State might be my pick here.
Coburn.
Coburn's crazy,
Yes, he is.
absolute bananas.
No
Nuts.
AC, no heat, no breakfast.
No breakfast.
Yeah, he's
Gotta
the
show up
no
hungry,
breakfast
baby.
and cold car thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
he said they are doing a lot more set play execution this year. They're actually not playing as like crazy fast, and their bigs are really good. I like that team. That's all I got. I think that's the team that actually has the best chance to win a game in the tournament. I think Montana State and Montana are usually just outclassed by power.
Yeah,
count.
Big Sky always gets punked
Big Sky
in the
just gets
tournament.
Crushed.
one. So yep.
And, that's all you have, Matthew?
And that is it.
All right. Jim, any other thoughts?
Nope. I just have my two. I wanted to talk conference players of the year, but I think it's a little too early. I'm going to do it next week.
Love it. Okay. Uh, like we said at the top of the show, best bet show tomorrow, Saturday, 10 a.m. Central. Check us out there. We'll go through these games in more detail from a betting perspective. But real quick, we'll hit on a couple game previews. Houston's going to Baylor in what is dubbed the best game of the day per KenPom. Houston, I still believe, is right there at the top of this league. And I think they're just going to get better and better considering Flemings is just a freshman. You got Cenac, who's just a freshman, who's playing a lot of minutes. Uh, Jim mentioned if Tugler plays 34 minutes a game, their defense is impossible. I think Houston's going to get it done on the road against Baylor.
Same. I think Houston wins. I do not think Baylor likes physicality in there. Outside the top 250 in defensive rebound rate, you cannot do that against Houston. I know they're not typical like number one in the country offensive rebounding team, but that's still a vital route to points for them, and they're going to win the turnover margin in basically every single game they play. So shot volume, big time for them, and Najee just hasn't been impactful enough yet on the glass for me to think he's going to be the difference maker. So physicality of Iowa State gave them too much. I think Houston does the same thing.
I agree. It does feel like this is just like Baylor just wins, and it's like, okay, they just got really hyped to play a game that felt like they were desperate to have. But I'm going to stick to the anti-spot, just take the team I like more. We talked about it last podcast, so I know Flemings is great. The Houston midi don't get to the rim as much as they should for as athletic as they are. Still doesn't sit well with me, Kai. But if Flemings is going to make shots and Uzan can still get buckets in that kind of mid float game too. Whatever, they'll get rebounds. They're fine.
Is
I
this going
mean,
to be a stupid unranked team favored against a ranked team?
is Baylor
I
going
I
to
don't
be
think
know.
favored?
I know Ken Palm's got -2, but I don't know if
Yeah, might flip.
the spot
Houston will be
tax will be
favored.
out
No
there or
way.
something. I
If
hope
anyone
so.
bets Baylor to favorite,
I
idiot.
think spot tax is full swing for this one. Auburn hosting Arkansas. Auburn, those two near misses. Arkansas 2-0 coming in. But guess what, fellas? I've watched both these teams play a few times. Arkansas for me. I think they could take it.
I think Auburn gets off the schneid here with the crazy stressful games they've played. I don't love Arkansas as much away from home. I think at home they're a freaking juggernaut in front of Bud Walton. But yes, they beat Mississippi. Mississippi State is trash. Or excuse me, Mississippi. Ole Miss is
Ole
trash.
Miss is trash. Yes.
Which sorry to pod guest Chris Beard, but the team did not come together this year the way he had hoped. I think this is where Auburn kind of gets up off the mat, and they're 0-2 in the league. Arkansas is 2-0. I'll buy the spot there, Matthew.
Yeah, Arkansas just sometimes can lose shooters on the perimeter. I think this could be a good matchup for Auburn to get hot, right? Just kind of spread out and kind of get Arkansas out of sorts. I think Arkansas is going to like the Tennessee game, right? They got size up front. A-Cup's been great. I think that's a better matchup. But this feels like one where, yeah, I don't like Auburn, but I think I like them in this game.
Speaking of Tennessee, they go to Florida tomorrow. I looked back last year. Florida beat Tennessee by 30. Tennessee beat Florida by 20. And then Florida beat Tennessee by 11 in the SEC tournament. A really good counter to Tennessee is being good rebounders, and that's Florida. They can definitely combat that. I think the Gators are going to win this game. Jim, the two best offensive rebounding teams in the country. Give me the Gators and their shaky guard play.
Yeah, I've already written this game up for Action Network for tomorrow, and that was my kind of the big theme. It's like, all right, both these teams need offensive rebounds to be alive, and one of them's good at defensive rebounding, and that's Florida. So I lean their way. I also think it's going to be a kind of a war
Yes.
ugliness. Like you said, the two blowouts last year, the losing team did not hit 45 points. Like they were just nightmare offensive performances on the road. Tennessee did nothing at Florida. It was a blowout from the start. I like Florida here as well. Their guards need to hit a couple shots to loosen things up, but I still like the Gators, Matthew.
I do too. Gillespie is like so clearly the best guard in this game, and I just
Yeah,
don't
by
love that.
far.
By
Like
far.
it just, I can't. He's so good. I watched him against Texas. I mean, just totally yo-yoed the game. I forget how like fast he is because he plays so like in control and in command. And then when he wants to just get the ball and just go, I mean, his like explosiveness is insane. He's probably like their best on-ball defender too. He's awesome. Hate betting against that guy. That's my takeaway there. I do lean Florida though, just at home.
Okay.
Matt, the big one. Nebraska puts their 19-game winning streak on the line at your Hoosiers, who need to keep racking up wins for the tournament. They're not like the best resume in the world. They're hosting them. Your thoughts? Assembly Hall, gonna be rocking the spaceship.
Well, the problem is that there are going to be too many people hungover from IU's
That's
50-point win tonight
it's a
over the Oregon
noon
Ducks.
Eastern
So
tip, 11 a.m.
yeah,
local.
God, they got early
Wow.
tip too. Yeah, it's going to be kind of a so no
Not noon
one's there.
Eastern,
It's
right?
like
They're
Are
Eastern
they
time.
cavernous.
Eastern? Are you Eastern time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I use Eastern time.
Okay,
Yeah,
noon.
was weird.
Noon.
I think Indiana makes 25 threes because Nebraska's going to let them shoot 50. They get hot. I think that's the game, right? It's sort of if IU is hot, they're going to win
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
Nebraska, that's how they defend. It's just what they
we
do.
we talk about how Nebraska's games, and really Creighton too, they've kind of followed that model, are just like jump shooting contests. And Indiana is a fantastic shooting team with some really, really streaky guys that can get boiling lava hot. And I think Nebraska's kind of, I hate saying like due, but they've had some very fortunate late game, close game stuff work out their way. And I think they come up short in this one. I think Indiana knocks them off, and it's a massive Hoosier sports weekend, Nirvana in Bloomington, Matt.
It does suck though that IU has the Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday coming off the road at Maryland. Like Nebraska's had off since Monday. That's a tough. That's worked very nicely in Nebraska's favor. I will say that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, that does it for game previews. Review time, real quick, and we'll send you guys on your way. Two reviews. One's a pretty long one, so I'll try to paraphrase as much as possible. Double Who 1517 CBB analysis at its best. Huge fan of the podcast for many years. All right. Appreciate the coverage of the non P5 teams and games. A question regarding college basketball and the NBA draft. He's been a long believer that basketball should adopt a model similar to the NHL, where the players' rights are drafted right out of high school, and the players can still go to college if they choose that route. Especially with the Baylor saga, that seems to make a lot of sense. Paraphrasing. And then, so my question is, do you think changing the NBA draft model like this would improve college basketball, or is he overlooking something? Would you be in favor of a guy, or excuse me, a model that if it meant losing a guy like Flag last year or Boozer to bounce it this year? Hmm. Um, it's going towards this way, Jim. I just don't know what I think about it.
Yeah, if the whole thing is like player freedom and stuff, like maybe the NBA Players Association isn't going to put this in. And like he says, like there's not a lot of incentive for the Players Association to let a double class come at some point where it'd be the freshmen going pro and the seniors in high school going pro. But man, with college, if you could pair this with more player like continuity at their own school, I think it'd be okay. But to lose the top, whatever, 20 guys every single year would be a real bummer out of the class. Just look how amazing this freshman group is and the impact it's making all across the board. So that would stink. But if there was a way to like, all right, you guys can go pro after high school, but then you have to be at your school for 2 years when you arrive in college. Like I don't know if there's a way to bargain that, collectively bargain. It'd be great for the college game, I think. I don't know if we'll ever see it, but I sort of buy this.
I do too. Um, I hope we see it. Maybe the whole Demon Williams. What's his name? Of Washington PD.
Damon Williams,
Zaman.
Yeah.
Demon. Sorry, Demon. He's a demon
not
in
a football
his
guy.
ability to assess contracts. Maybe that kind of jumpstarts the collective bargaining thing. But yeah, the sooner we get there, the better. Just everyone will just be happier, and there's not like this weird chaos
Leadership would
of
be
shit.
nice. Real leadership. That'd
Well,
be
that's
good.
not going to
Sure would
happen.
be.
But yeah, I don't know. I think you actually need like a hurricane of a shitstorm to actually create the change. Not, I don't think you're going to get like leadership driven change here, Kai. Maybe chaos is what we need. Anarchy.
Anarchy. Yes. Okay, last review. Great pod one. Mid-major. POTW. I'm going to say pick of the week is what that stands for. I'm not exactly sure. Says these guys are so good. Encourage you to read their previews in the Action app. I found them profitable. Nice. No one goes deeper. Hell yeah. Can we start getting a mid-major pick of the week is the question. Okay. Dayton alumni who likes to hit some of those non-big time game bets that get hit by the public. Appreciate y'all. I like the y'all at the end. Mid-major pick of the week, Jim, on this podcast.
Yeah, we talk mid-major games on our Monday Action Network pod Monday morning, so check that out. We do dive into those a little bit, not always with picks, but at least a sort of breakdown.
Our best bet
We
show, of
typically have
course.
some, yeah, best bet show Saturday. A lot of our best bets in the Discord will end up with a mid-major hue to them. So encourage that. If you're not in the Discord, hop in there and join that betting channel and discuss. Matt and I've been a little cold. Kai's been carrying the boys. We appreciate that.
Thank you,
Sliding a little
Kai.
bit now. I'm sliding a little bit now. You guys gotta help me
Yeah,
out.
that's okay. We'll pick you up. But yeah, check that out. Get into the Discord, and there's a lot more discussion of those mid-major games. That'd
Yeah.
be my best recommendation.
BasketUnderreview.com. Okay, that's our podcast. Great podcast this week. Again, join us Saturday, 10 a.m. Central for a best bet show. 149 games tomorrow. That's ridiculous. Hate that. Yes, bless you, Matt. We'll see you next time on the 3 Minute College Basketball Podcast. Till then,